Stranger Things, one of the biggest shows of all time. I was a huge fan of the show when it first came out and watched season 1 probably 3 times. But that was 10 years ago. When I heard the series finale was coming out on New Year's, I thought, surely they're on season 7 or 8. But no! Season 5. These Duffer Brother guys took 2 or 3 years between every season. And they did that with child actors. How are they gonna play off that in season 1, all the kids are like 10 years old and now they're like 25? I'm pretty sure Millie Bobby Brown is a mom now, and I think she's married to John Bon Jovi's son. And Joe Keery is my age, and I'm old. Like, look at me. I could not play a high school kid or a college kid, however old he's supposed to be in the show. He's also a famous, handsome actor, so can't compare, I guess, but we're the same age. Anyway, it's been a long time since I've watched this show. Season 1 was 2016. And instead of watching all the seasons, now that everything is out, I figured, why don't I just watch the series finale and try to figure out what's going on? What do I remember? There were a bunch of kids, and they played Dungeons and Dragons, and one of them went missing, and then a little magic girl shows up, and there's a laboratory, and there's a place called the Upside Down, and there's a sheriff, and that just about does it for me. Let's see what I can piece together here in the series finale. Oh my god, it's over 2 hours long. Duffer Brothers. It's a TV show. It's not a movie. This is a 2-hour-long TV episode. I'm hungry already also, and I'm about to start. This is... All right, here we go. All right, the episode starts with a bunch of military vehicles driving into one of those big portal things to the Upside Down. The whole city is in ruins. This soldier with gap teeth is being interrogated because they think he opened the portal, but then this tiny old lady is like, maybe this toy radio had something to do with it. I'm pretty sure I remember that one little boy who's on Broadway playing with a radio in season 1, so maybe this toy radio points to him. Now we're in the Upside Down, and all the kids are in a truck. I genuinely don't remember anyone's names besides Eleven and Lucas. Finn Wolfhard is telling Eleven that they just have to do one more fight, and then this will all be over. I guess Eleven still isn't really speaking. Has she just been silent for every season of this show? That's an incredible role Millie Bobby Brown Bon Jovi got. You get to be in one of the biggest shows ever, and you don't have to learn any lines. So sick. Uh-oh, there's a group of naughty-looking boys with guns in the woods that want to capture Eleven. Now we're at a table full of kids with their eyes rolled back into their heads. They're all revealed to be in this crazy cave getting something sucked out of their mouths by this freaky alien monster. He's floating beneath this throbbing slime ball thing, and then it's revealed that there's a glowing red X beneath him. Not sure what that is, but I bet it's important because it leads straight into the opening credits. This is still one of the best opening credit songs of all time. So good. And oh, this episode is called The Right Side Up, as in the opposite of the Upside Down. See? I'm picking up on things pretty quick. Now we're at a church. That nerdy science teacher from season 1 is here with the sassy little girl. But then a bunch of soldiers show up with that tiny old lady. She sees that the nerdy science teacher's van is from a radio station, and she's like, ah, yes, my theory about the radio must be true. Now we're at the radio station, and there's 2 redheaded girls here. One of them is in a wheelchair, and the other one is Irish, I think? She definitely has some kind of accent. She walkie-talkies over to Maya Hawke, who is with a bunch of our cast of misfits at a big radio tower thing. Oh, I remember another name. Will. Because in season 1, Will goes missing, and Winona Ryder, who's his mom, is always like, Will, where are you, Will? Will! She's better. She's a good actress. I'm not making fun of her. She's a great actress. Will's brother is leading this group and tells them to climb the tower. Now, at another location in the Upside Down, the sheriff is leading Eleven into some big building. Eleven has a flashback to when she was a little girl and was having experiments done on her, so this is that lab from season 1. A guy that the sheriff calls Bald Eagle, probably because he's bald, gets the generator running and turns on the lights. The sheriff tells him to go to the roof with a bunch of C4. Now the sheriff is giving Eleven instructions and says that she has a sister? What? Also, apparently there's a planet moving towards Earth. So Eleven is about to get into this water tank and use her powers to kill a guy named Henry. Okay, there is another girl here, so this must be Eleven's sister, who I will assume is named 12 or something. Back at the radio tower, Will and Finn Wolfhard are having a heart-to-heart, even though it seems like the world is coming to an end. So, guys, let's focus up. Is Will gay? It seems like Will came out to Finn Wolfhard maybe in the previous episode, because now Finn Wolfhard is like, we can still be friends. It's okay that you're gay, which I guess this show is set in the 80s, so Finn saying that is kind of a big deal. He's a good guy. This Irish girl is freaking out, and the wheelchair girl is like, relax, dummy. The Irish girl goes to get some food, and then the wheelchair girl starts having some sort of episode. And then she gets up out of her wheelchair. Okay, I think she's hallucinating or something because she walks right into a puddle of water. The Irish girl comes back, and yeah, the wheelchair girl is still sitting there, and her eyes are freaking out. In this hallucination, wheelchair girl walks outside to an all-black void. And then 11 and 12 show up. We cut back to the tower, and they finally made it to the top. Gosh, everyone looks so old. It's crazy. These were children. Look at that little Broadway boy. Now he's a little Broadway man. They look up and see what I'm now assuming is the planet they're trying to blow up. And I'm pretty sure that's where the freaky alien monster is. Back in the Black Void, 11 is explaining that they are in her mind and they need to enter the freaky alien monster's mind. He's just floating there and 11 grabs his hand, and then Wheelchair Girl has a bunch of flashbacks and ends up in school? I think they went back in time to when the freaky alien monster was a kid. Also, I guess his name is Henry, which is a really funny name for a freaky alien monster to have. For some reason, Wheelchair Girl has all of the freaky alien monster's memories in her head. Maybe it's like a Harry Potter situation where they're connected, and instead of having like a lightning bolt scar, she is in a wheelchair. Just then, the tiny old lady arrives at the radio station with all her soldiers. The two redheads hide behind a bookshelf while Wheelchair Girl continues having her seizure. The planet is about to squish little Broadway boy and the rest of our crew of friends, and 11 is still waiting for the freaky alien monster to appear in this time travel scene, which is now a really bizarre high school performance on stage. When the curtain draws, 11 runs through it and into that room full of children at the table with their eyes rolled back, and she throws, who I presume to be Henry, across the room, and all the other people at the table wake up. At the radio tower, Joe Keery goes flying. The little Broadway boy, who has braces now, yells, and then Joe Keery falls. But then Will's brother grabs him and somehow doesn't fall with him. He's just super strong, like the strongest person ever, I guess. Okay, I'm a little confused about what's going on. Why did those 10 people have to go to the top of a radio tower when 11 is in that monster's mind and she seems to be the one who is doing all the work? Also, apparently Wheelchair Girl knows this little girl at the table and says she came back for her. So is this her sister or something? And does she just live in the freaky alien monster's mind? Okay, that answers one of my questions. Finn Wolfhard's sister digs her way up onto the planet. So I guess that's why they went onto the big tower, so they could get on the planet when it got low enough. They take it all in, and then we cut to Henry looking mad as hell. This guy is definitely that freaky alien monster. They even kind of look the same. He force chokes 11 and makes her nose bleed. And then we see that all those little kids at the table are watching from behind an invisible force field that 12 is making. Now Henry rolls up his sleeve and makes his hand turn into a freaky alien hand. These little kids seem to have been brainwashed into thinking Henry was a good guy, but now they realize that he is indeed a freaky alien monster who wants to destroy the world. And I guess he's been sucking the power out of these children to make it happen. Henry sees a bunch of flashbacks of 11, and I guess she's killed people before? Is that her stabbing tiny old lady? What is going on? Anyway, now 11 and Henry are fighting, and 11 throws him on the table. She yells, "Now!" and 12 runs in with a knife, but when she goes to stab him, he disappears. Back on the alien planet, Joe Keery thanks Will's brother for saving his life, and Will's brother really seems to hate Joe Keery. I guess because he bullied him in high school? Oh no, apparently Will's brother and Finn Wolfhard's sister were a thing, and then Will's brother went to California, and Joe Keery and Finn Wolfhard's sister started dating. And then Will's brother came back, and now there's a weird love triangle where nobody's dating. Anyway, not important. Again, the world is ending. They find that place where the weird alien monster was floating, and they go towards it. Wheelchair Girl leads those brainwashed kids through the woods to try to save them, but a portly little fellow can't keep up. Everyone yells at him to keep running, but he can't. He's too portly. 11 and 12 catch up to them, and they say that they're going to the cave. So now we've got 11 in the past in the weird alien monster's mind. We've got that group of people on the alien planet, and we've got the sheriff and the bald eagle in the upside down. So 3 different groups in 3 different planets and times. And nobody is on regular Earth. What's going on regular Earth? Do all the people down there know that the world is in danger? Surely they must. Hawkins must have been evacuated, right? Or something. Back at the lab, a bunch of smoke starts filling the room for some reason, and then the sheriff sees a sick little girl laying in a hospital bed. Oh, is this his daughter? I'm pretty sure in season 1 he was all depressed because his daughter died of cancer. So he's hallucinating. Everyone in the show loves to hallucinate. And now he's hallucinating a conversation between 11 and 12 talking about how they're gonna kill themselves after they save the world. And then the freaky alien monster appears and the sheriff tries to shoot him, but of course he's not really there, so he just ends up shooting the tank that 11 is in. Oh, she's bleeding. Or is she? This also also might just be a hallucination, but he doesn't care. He starts slamming the tank until he busts it open. And then 11, 12, and the wheelchair girl all disappear from Henry's mind world. Now that 11 is out of the tank, the sheriff realizes that she's fine and it was all just in his brain. Meanwhile, at the radio station, wheelchair girl made a bunch of noise when she woke up, and tiny old lady finds her and the Irish girl. Now 11 and 12 are talking about how they're locked out of Henry's mind because the stupid sheriff shot a bunch of holes in that tank. Now the sheriff is all mad because he hallucinated that 11 said she's going to kill herself. He's saying that he won't help her destroy the Upside Down if she actually plans on killing herself, and then 12 pulls a gun out on it. 11 is talking about how if she's alive, then Henry is alive, so maybe this is like Harry Potter, and maybe Henry put a little bit of his soul into 11 and wheelchair girl? I don't know. Then the sheriff gives a beautiful speech about how 11 needs to stay alive, but he's interrupted by the bald eagle saying the soldiers have arrived. Back in Henry's mind, those little kids make it to the cave. Then Henry summons a portal like he's Doctor Strange and pops out and shoots his freaky alien hand at wheelchair girl's sister. They get into the cave, and for some reason Henry can't go in there, probably because he's claustrophobic or something. Oh my gosh, we keep bouncing between all these places. Back on the alien planet, Will starts having these visions, and he tells everyone that Henry is still alive. Okay, this is the third person to have some sort of weird Harry Potter connection with Henry. There's 11, there's wheelchair girl, and now there's Will. I don't want to be like slut shaming or anything, but Henry's kind of a mind slut. You know what I mean? He's given his mind to all these different people. Maybe it's a thing where if he sucks you through your mouth, you know how in season 1 Will is getting sucked through his mouth with like a tentacle? Maybe if he does that to you, he also puts part of his mind into you. I really don't know. Okay, Henry is going to go into the cave. He walks in and starts having flashbacks about how he became the freaky alien monster. He killed a guy and then opened a briefcase, and that's all it took. So let that be a lesson to all you kids out there. Don't kill a guy and then open a briefcase. 45 minutes in, and Winona Ryder has her first line of the episode. I gotta say, there are too many characters in this show. Like in season 1, there was, 8 characters, and every actor got a chance to shine. Winona Ryder put in some, legit performances in season 1. Now she's just walking in a big group of people silently, and her first line is, "What do you see?" Will explains that Henry is chasing the kids through the cave, and then Maya Hawke asks if he can stop him with his powers. Powers? Since when does Will have powers? Maybe he also killed a guy and opened a briefcase in the last 4 seasons. Back at the laboratory, the soldiers are blasting a crazy sound out of a helicopter, and it's making 11 and 12 go nuts. The sheriff picks up 11 and runs away with her, leaving 12 to be tortured by the helicopter sound. But then 11 is like, "Dude, you left her behind? Go get her." And he's like, "Okay, fine." So he does some crazy action hero stuff and kills the soldiers and grabs her. But then that one particularly naughty boy from earlier in the woods slams him with his gun. The soldiers are about to kill 12 when Bald Eagle decides he's finally going to actually do something other than stand on the roof and say quippy lines into the walkie-talkie. He takes some of the C4 and throws it at the helicopter that's weakening 11 and 12, and it blows up. Then 11 comes in the room and just starts snapping dudes' necks with her mind and makes the naughty boy shoot himself in the head. But in all that commotion, 12 got shot in the stomach and she dies. Now in the cave, Henry gets attacked by Wheelchair Girl's sister, but he manages to knock her out. Then he starts hallucinating a moment from his childhood that I guess took place in this very cave. Him finding a guy with a briefcase. The very briefcase that turns him into a freaky alien monster. On the roof, 11 is like, "I'm gonna kill Henry." And the sheriff is like, "Are you gonna kill yourself after? Because that would really suck." And 11 launches into a really sweet monologue about how the sheriff is her dad now, but she's not a kid anymore, and she's not Sarah, who I'm guessing is the sheriff's dead daughter. She's like, "Let me kill myself, please. I'm a Horcrux for that freaky alien monster and I have to die," or something. Back in the cave, Henry watches his child self kill the guy with the briefcase and then open it. There's a rock inside. Henry grabs it and then has a vision of a big cloud that says, "Find me." I guess the guy with the briefcase isn't actually dead because he tells Child Henry to resist the rock. But then Child Henry blasts the guy's eyes out and definitely kills him. What was that guy doing with such a crazy rock, and why was he in a cave? Maybe it's like Lord of the Rings, and he was trying to bring the rock to whatever Hawkins' version of Mount Doom is, to destroy it. Now Will is somehow speaking to Henry. I guess Henry had never known where he got his powers from, and this is how he's finding out. So Will is like, "Hey man, it's not your fault. You can help us destroy this thing." And Henry is like, "No, you idiot." And then that crazy looking rock formation thing becomes a huge alien spider monster. It chases after the group and corners them. And just when it looks like it's about to eat them, a big rock smacks it in the face. It's 11. She runs at the spider monster, jumps up and shoots a hole in its chest and flies inside. Then she rips the crazy alien monster down from his its nasty tethers and he falls to the ground. As 11 and the crazy alien monster fight inside the spider's stomach, the crew outside decides they're gonna fight the spider because there's something called hive mind that makes all these freaky aliens feel the same pain or something. And it seems to work. When they attack the spider monster, the alien monster inside freaks out. The crazy alien monster shoots out its freaky hand, but it stops just before hitting 11. And then we see that Will has his eyes rolled back in his head, and he's fighting the crazy alien monster too. So these are his powers, I guess. He snaps the alien's arm off, and then 11 impales the alien's body on a spike. The big spider collapses, and it looks like the battle is won. Except there's still an hour left in this episode somehow. Finn Wolfhard's sister runs into the belly of the spider and rips the suction thing off of Wheelchair Girl's sister's mouth and digs her out. Okay, the way Finn Wolfhard and his sister are acting, I'm starting to think this girl is their sister and not Wheelchair Girl's sister. All the little kids get set free, and while the portly boy hugs Joe Keery, the freaky alien monster starts making noises. Winona Ryder starts hacking at the alien's head, and everyone takes turns having flashbacks of people this freaky alien monster has killed until his head falls off. The little Broadway boy tells the sheriff to blow up the Upside Down, and everybody's happy. But there's still 50 minutes left in the episode. What else? I guess the tiny old lady still wants to capture 11, so that'll be the last 50 minutes of the episode. And right on cue, the soldiers swarm in and surround our heroes. They're looking for 11, but she's nowhere to be found, until Finn Wolfhard sees her and tries to chase her. Then he gets teleported to the Black Void, and he and 11 have a heart-to-heart. She says, "Thank you for teaching me what it means to be a friend." Ouch. Friend? Wasn't he like in love with her? She's pouring her heart out to him, and they flash back to season 1 when these actors were literal babies. And then we see more flashbacks from throughout the show. Man, if you watch this entire series, this would probably make you cry. Finn Wolfhard is begging 11 not to kill herself, but she insists. And then she says, "I love you," and they kiss! Yes! But then she shoots him back up into the real world. Now she's standing at the entrance to the Upside Down, and it's about to blow up. Everyone screams for her to get the heck out of there, but she just stands there until finally she gets blown away and the portal closes. Okay, well that's super sad. Maybe she's not dead though. Maybe she is still in the Upside Down, but it got blown up. It got blown up. She's a crafty one. Maybe she got out of there somehow. Also, there's still 45 minutes left in this episode. What are we gonna do? Now it's a year and a half later, and Hawkins is being rebuilt. Apparently, the kid characters are just now graduating high school. Whoa! Wheelchair Girl is skateboarding. I guess she was only in a wheelchair because of the freaky alien monster. Oh, also, her and Lucas are dating? Also, little Broadway boy is valedictorian. There's no way. There's no way that he is the valedictorian of his high school. He, over the last however many years, had his friends kidnapped, had people's mouths sucked by a monster. He was busy trying to save the world. There's no way he had time for homework and studying. That high school is full of morons if he's the valedictorian. Will is taking pictures with Winona Ryder and the sheriff when the phone rings. Finn Wolfhard is missing. Well, I guess we found out what we're gonna do for the next 40 minutes. Okay, never mind. He's just sitting on a bench in the middle of town. The sheriff shows up and Finn Wolfhard tells him he's not gonna walk at graduation because he's not over 11. Apparently, he had some plan to run away with her to a place with 3 waterfalls, which I bet is where he finds her at the end of the episode. The sheriff gives him a pep talk and then we cut to the graduation. The girl that I thought was Wheelchair Girl's sister calls Finn Wolfhard's mom, so that girl is Finn Wolfhard's sister after all. I really got that one wrong. Also, Finn Wolfhard's mom was in Mad Men, and I had a huge crush on her. Not relevant to what we're doing right now, but she looks great. Finn Wolfhard shows up to the graduation and hugs his hot mom. And then little Broadway boy gives his valedictorian speech. He says that everything that has happened in this show since season 1 has happened within a 6-year span. 6 years. Somebody needs to check what's in the water in Hawkins because it makes you age at double the speed of normal. He gives a really nice speech about how he loves his friends, and then he says that he hates the principal and the school and there should be more chaos, and everyone cheers. Then when the principal is yelling for everyone to chill out, the mic makes a high-pitched noise and Finn Wolfhard is reminded of those noise things the soldiers used on 11. But then he immediately forgets about that, I guess, and hugs little Broadway boy. And then this pretty girl, who I guess is supposed to be way out of little Broadway boy's league, comes over and starts flirting with him, and then she invites them to a party. Now the older kids are on the roof of the radio station, and Joe Keery is a teacher and never wants to leave Hawkins. Apparently, Will's brother goes to NYU, which might just be the least realistic thing about this entire show. Isn't his family super poor? He has a single mother. He's not affording NYU. Finn Wolfhard's sister dropped out of college to work at a newspaper, which will be a really horrible move in about 5 years when the internet happens. They all promise they'll meet every month for the rest of their lives in Philadelphia, which will probably last 2 months before they start coming up with excuses not to show up. Now, Winona Ryder and the sheriff are at a fancy dinner, and this guy is definitely about to propose. Oh, maybe they're already married. Winona Ryder just said they share a bank account. He says he got offered a job in Montauk as the chief of police, and it comes with a pay raise. Okay, maybe he is gonna propose. He is! He's proposing! These dweebs are playing Dungeons and Dragons just like the opening scene in season 1. At the end of their campaign, we see a glimpse of all the kids' futures. Lucas and Wheelchair Girl will go to movies. Little Broadway Boy will go to college. Will be gay. And Finn Wolfhard will become an author. And then Finn Wolfhard talks about Eleven. He says that Eleven faked her death so tiny old lady would stop chasing her. And then we see Eleven, and you already know she's gonna be at a place with 3 waterfalls. Wait. Somebody please count 1, 2. That's 2 waterfalls. What are we doing here? Like 10 minutes ago in the episode, he was like, I'm going to run away with her to a place with 3 waterfalls. And then I get maybe location scouting for the show couldn't find a place with 3. Like they were like, this place has 2. That's pretty close. What are we doing? All these kids put their D&D binders away for the last time. And then the little kids who are getting their mouths sucked come down and start playing themselves. And then the show ends. I really like that ending. It's definitely not an easy thing to pull off when you have a show that runs for 10 years and you have to like tie it all in a really nice bow, but that felt good. Obviously, I haven't seen most of the show, so I don't know if they just like completely ignored certain storylines, but I feel good about this. I'm a little bit sad that Finn Wolfhard and Eleven didn't at least see each other at the end of the episode. Like, it's kind of left like maybe Eleven survived, maybe she didn't survive. She survived. We can all agree she survived. But I guess Finn Wolfhard can't be with her because that tiny old lady is probably monitoring him. And if he goes to her, then Eleven will be captured. Maybe when they're both old, they can find a way to find each other using Eleven's magic. Or maybe because they're both 18 years old, they'll get over each other in like a month. Probably that. Also, didn't Eleven do this at the end of season 1? Didn't she like disintegrate into thin air because she got exploded by a monster? And then she ended up being alive. So she's alive. I'm also getting like weirdly emotional now that the show is over. I know I haven't watched it in 10 years, but that's kind of the point. I can only imagine how it feels for you who have watched this show through its entire duration. You probably feel like a whole chunk of your life you were like growing up with these kids. Seeing how old those kids are now, they are now fully grown adults, and when the show started they were little baby children. It really puts into perspective like how 2016 was 10 years ago, and in 2016 I was a completely different person living a completely different life. And man, it's all kind of moving too fast. Not to sound like a boomer, but that's crazy. But that's enough of talking about that because this video is already really long and that's sad and I'm really hungry. So thank you for watching. If there are any other shows you want me to just jump into the finale and try to figure out, please let me know. And if you're an OG subscriber, please leave a comment. I'd love to see some familiar names. Okay, bye.